freckles is freckling in this filter. Anyways, so I said something in a previous video that like later on ended up triggering like another memory or whatever. And I was talking about how like I went off on one of my friends in high school about like tickling me because I was like in the middle of a conversation. I was like really focused on it. And then like she just came up and like poked me and I like hated that shit. And she got pissed off at me because like I blew up. I kept telling them I hate that shit and they don't fucking listen. So that's what happened. And then after a while, I actually thought about like why it was so triggering for me because I had another friend at one point, like we were outside somewhere and like they were at a distance from me and then they come running up and like throw all their body weight into a hug and she actually ends up accidentally punching me in the face. It was completely unintended. She just meant to like run up and hug me, but her hand connected with my face. My glasses flew off and I kind of just paused. And she just immediately started like apologizing profusely and all of that. Like she was just like, I'm sorry, I am so sorry. So, like, calmly, I picked up my glasses and was just like, yes, I know it was an accident. It's okay. It was an accident. You didn't mean to do it. I know that for a fact. I felt it in my body how freaking remorseful she was. And I was just like, it's fine. I'm fine. It is what it is, like you didn't mean to do it. We do this stuff all the time. An accident was bound to happen at some point. And then I just carried on like it had never happened. So yeah, after a while, I was just like, that was a really weird reaction to being punched in the face versus being tickled. But then, trigger warning, this is just gonna bring up some trauma. I realized that the reason why I really hate like being tickled, like I still don't like being tickled, and I never liked being tickled. It's just, no one ever cares that you don't like it. They just want to keep doing it to you. And now that I'm an adult, I have the words to explain it, or at least the insights, because, yeah. I hated being tickled because that's how the bad touches started. It started with tickling. But I couldn't articulate that as a teenager because I had never come to that conclusion. I had never like put the two together. And, therapy would have been really good for helping me put these pieces together and like avoiding situations like this and learning how to maybe even advocate for myself and like basically tell people, I don't like being tickled, and if you do, you're going to end up triggering me into reacting in a way that you don't see fit as a, proper reaction to it. I'm trying to protect my phone from my fucking son. So yeah, all of this I had to figure out on my motherfucking own. Would have been more beneficial to actually, have a proper adult to like help me figure it out. But yeah, that's that. And so yeah, I was just like, wow, like I really technically to me, like even as my adult self and like even as my then self, I kept telling them to stop doing it. So they were bound to get that reaction at some point. I just shouldn't have been the one fucking apologizing. But, you know, like I don't blame myself for how I reacted at all. It was just so like frustrating as a kid to like have these things that you tell people not to do and then they do it anyway and then they don't like your reaction when it happens. And that has been me my whole life. I will tell people I don't like this. I don't like being lied to. That's a fucking trigger for me. And I don't like when people tell me one thing, then act a different way than how they're telling me, like, especially if it's like how they feel about me. If you say that you love me, show that you love me. You cannot sit here and say that you love me and then show me that you hate me. And that's a whole other thing where I go into this, like, trying to prompt them to say the the real way that it is, because I've been made to, like, never trust any of the actions that I see people do, or the feelings that I feel when people are doing stuff. Because it's just like, oh, well, because with family, it's always like, oh, they love you. It's always they just, oh, no, I really fucking don't. Because if I tell you that I like to be addressed in a specific way, or, talked to a specific way, or loved in a fucking specific way, maybe not even in a specific way, just like not treated a certain way, and you continue to do it, then you don't really give a fuck. And even if you truly do deep down and you just don't have the ability to change, then I have every right to remove you from my life. And I have gotten so sick over time, as like with connections, like I'm finally, like, mentally mature enough now to know that even if this person isn't meaning it in a bad way, even if, this is all that they're capable of, and they don't really mean any true harm by it, like, that doesn't necessarily mean I have to keep putting up with it if it makes me fucking uncomfortable. I'm a fucking adult. I can tell you that I don't want you around anymore. And I don't have to try to make myself feel bad about it. And I don't have to sit here and pretend to have all of these freaking human emotions that I don't fucking have over the situation if I've told you multiple times. Like, I'm tired of fucking not only lying to myself, but lying to everybody else about how I fucking feel about shit. Sometimes I just don't fucking feel anything because I put in the work. If I already put in the work and I've done everything that I can, why am I even putting in work and doing everything that I can anyway? Like, that's just my motherfucking logic. But it's just like, I am an adult. I have fucking control over my own goddamn life. If I am the reason for my own motherfucking problems, then I have every right to solve them in the way that I want to fucking solve them. And if that means getting rid of people, that means getting rid of people. Because if I have to continuously look at people that make me feel like I can only exist in their world, then it's time to change worlds. Because, you can't be responsible for all of your own problems and yet still not make choices to fucking fix it. And if other people are making me feel like I hate them, and I don't want to live in hatred my whole fucking life, if they make me feel fucking dysregulated and I don't want to live like that my whole fucking life, I'm taking fucking control and fixing it. But it's fine for people to tell you that you're always focusing on the negative and you're not letting shit go. But it's totally okay for them to continuously, make snide comments and say shit behind your back and in front of your face that make you feel a certain type of way, and do the same thing, like bring up your past, but if you say anything about theirs, then it's an issue. Yeah, that's not the world I want to motherfucking live in. If you can't own up to the shit that you've done, or, you know, whatever, then I don't want to fucking be around you. Because I can take fucking accountability. I'm obvious. Nobody's a motherfucking perfect person. And it's so fucked up that we constantly have to keep making that disclaimer. Because it's just like, duh, nobody's a fucking perfect person. Everybody's meant to make mistakes. And sometimes I might make mistakes on purpose just because. Just because I can. And I need to learn that it's okay for me to fucking make a mistake. Because I will constantly be learning my entire fucking life. Fuck how anybody fucking feels about it. And I'm tired of fucking being made to feel like any slightest mistake over anything is punishable by. I'm over it. Because I felt like that my whole fucking childhood. And done. But anyway, that's my rant for the day. Have a wonderful motherfucking day.